And the one thing that a lot of us had been talking about for quite some time, there being a major restructuring of the BCCI central contracts and the removal of a grade A plus. Well, we finally gotten that confirmation because breaking news for you guys, the BCCI has finally announced the annual contracts for the season from 2025 to 26. And well, this really is where things are getting very, very interesting because there's no more grade A plus, which means Rohit and Virat drop down to grade B. There's only grade A now, which is the highest, and the grade A players are only 3. We'll get into the major details on that in just a bit, but Harshit, what do you think? Is this something that people should be surprised over, or considering the noise that has been coming out? You'd seen this one coming.
I think this is something we'd already reported. It's just that we're getting a final confirmation now, an official confirmation from the BCCI. So this should not come as a surprise to the cricketing community in India in any which way. Also, Virat-Rohit, the word demotion, demoted, shifted, downgraded, all of these words will be used. Pick whatever word you like. For practical reasons, this had to happen, and they have not been hard done by in any which way. So all you out there who are looking at cleaning your swords and going after the BCCI on social media platforms as we give you this news, just hold your horses a bit is what I'd say, because there is cricketing reason. Yes, they're absolute superstars, and whatever grade, those 2 odd crore rupees less that they'll be getting now doesn't make a difference to their lives and doesn't change their stature as well. That is something you must remember, because whenever the BCCI has doled out these central contracts, it has been done keeping in mind the workload of the players. It's been done in mind, kept in mind how many matches and across how many formats does a player play, which is why you had only a few players, including a Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and a Jasprit Bumrah and a Jadeja perhaps, who would earlier fit into the A plus category, because those were the only all format players that you had. Unfortunately, the all format player thing has evaporated of sorts from Indian cricket. It's good if you ask me, because that ways you'll have more and more players who can focus on specific formats, even though we may still be a few miles away from that. But central contracts telling me a thing or two over there. Why has A plus been abolished completely, and what is now A grade, which is now the highest grading in the BCCI central contracts remuneration, going to be? That is something we don't know about. Neither do we know why it's been scrapped.
Yeah. So what we'll do before we get into that discussion, let's actually run you through which all are the players. And bear in mind that this time around, they've announced 30 players have gotten contracts on the men's side. And there are also 21 players who have gotten central contracts for the women. So both have been announced at the same time.
Just the top of the head that I can think of at the moment, I think the numbers increased from last year. You didn't have 30 players with central contracts, if memory serves me right.
I can check that.
Please, if you could tell us, Shane.
Actually, no, you had more players last year. You had 34. It's actually gone
so
down.
It's trimmed down.
Yes, it has been trimmed down. So, in that sense, there's been a reduction. But if you go over how it is or who these players are, let's quickly go over it, shall we? Grade A, there's only 3 players. You've got Shubman Gill, Jasprit, Bumrah, and Ravindra, Jadeja. For grade B, you've got a Washington Sundar, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Rahul, Mohammad Siraj, Hardik, Pandya, Rishabh, Pant, Kuldeep, Yadav, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Suryakumar Yadav, Shreyas Iyer. After that, you've got grade C, which includes an Axar Patel, Tilak Verma, Rinku Singh, Shivam Dubey, Sanju, Samson, Arshdeep Singh, Prasid Krishna, Akashdeep, Dhruv Jarel, Harshit Rana, Varun Chakravarthy, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Abhishek Sharma, Sai Sudarshan, Ravi Bishnoi, and Rituraj Gaikwad. Those are the 30 players who will be getting contract from the men's side of things.
This is one name I really want to dwell on a bit over here, and maybe that caught your attention as well. Ravindra Jadeja, the third player on the list when it comes to the plum A contract, not A plus. We'll have to get used to that now.
Yeah.
Why is Ravindra Jadeja over there? Now that you know, you didn't even see him play in the last ODI series, or in fact, when you did, you were questioning what he was doing over there. Remember, over the last 3 ODI series that you've played, Ravindra Jadeja has played some, Ravindra Jadeja has not played some. You had Axar Patel in one, and then you were alternating between him and Jadeja.
He played the last series.
He played the last series, and I also remember saying that in Rajkot, where he played that last match,
might be his last
perhaps
game.
You could have seen the last of Ravindra Jadeja. But why is then Ravindra Jadeja still been given the best contract that the BCCI can give. Let me give you the reason for that. Now, this contract starts from the 1st of October from the preceding year. So, if we are sitting in 2026 at the moment, these contracts are retrospective and futuristic at the same time. They are announced at this point, but they came into effect and the salaries will be paid basis the 1st October 2025 to the 30th September 2026 cycle.
Correct.
This is the cycle that will be followed. So since it's been good 6 months, 5 odd months that you've had Ravindra Jadeja represent India in the ODI scheme of things, and he's still not, remember, retired from the game's longest format, keeping that in mind, you have kept Ravindra Jadeja in that first grade A list. Otherwise, he, much like Virat-Rohit, would also have been in grade B.
Correct. And also it's worth noting that with this thing, I'm not so sure if you're going to be seeing hard decisions still not being taken. Performance is paramount at the end of the day, and the sad reality is you weren't getting that level of performance from a Jadeja. But again, if you're looking at the list, the only other two players, and this is what Harshit and I were discussing as well, is that grade A is basically only for those who you could either be seeing as potentially all format players or those who are all format players. Jadeja is the only exception because he's retired from T20I cricket. But the other name, Shubman Gill, we know the BCCI has designs on making him all format captain. Similarly, Jasprit Bumrah is available as and when needed across all three formats for India. We know he hasn't been playing too many ODIs, but that's also because ODIs are not the major focus right now. The ODIs will be the focus once the T20 World Cup is done, because you've got an ODI World Cup coming up in 2027. So the three players who are here are guaranteed pretty much all format players, with the exception of, as I said, Jadeja, because he's retired. Otherwise, if available, he's a first choice in the other two formats as well. That would have been the thought process. From the others, it's those who are available either in one or two formats, and that's really where it comes in. Or I think at least two formats is a given. We know Sundar is available by and large across formats if needed. He's a utility player of sorts. Rohit and Virat are exceptions. They're one format players. Rahul is also a two-format player at this point. Same can be said about Siraj, Pandya, Rishabh, Pant. Kuldeep Yadav is an all-format player, but again, not guaranteed to start. So maybe that's why he's in B. Yashasvi Jaiswal, also someone, he's guaranteed in tests, not so much in other formats, maybe ODIs. Suryakumar Yadav is an interesting one because he's pretty much a one-format player at this point too. Despite being available in tests and ODIs, he's only seen for selection in T20s. And after that, you've got Shreyas Iyer, which is again an interesting call, which shows that maybe, just maybe, you're at least looking at him being a two-format player going forward. I know tests, he's ruled himself out of reckoning for a little while due to his niggling back issues. ODI is his first shot and is also a vice-captain, lest we forget. So that's the interesting thing. From grade C, it's mostly players who are either one-format players or those who are fringe squad players of sorts. That's how the demarcation
the very first name, by the way, on the list does interest me a bit.
Axar.
And makes for a conversation. Why is it that Axar Patel is in grade C?
I don't understand that, because I mean, he does play test cricket.
If you're looking at him being the succession plan after Jadeja, and if you're also looking at him in some way being the succession plan or your plan B, if Jadeja is not around and you take him to Australia then, or if Jadeja went to Australia, Jadeja went to no,
it was
Axar who went to Australia, and Jadeja did not go to Australia. Then what exactly is this thinking is something that I want to look at. By the way, one name, I was just comparing the list with that of last year. There is no Mohammad Shami. Forget grade A, he was never going to be there. Grade B, grade C,
he's
and
nowhere.
That tells you so much about what this Indian team is thinking.
Kishan is, I think, there, nahi?
There is no Ishan Kishan.
Oh, he's no Ishan Kishan yet.
But he can be retrospectively given a contract.
Yeah, because if he plays a certain number of games and this,
exactly,
then that's also a thing. If you play so many games across formats, then you automatically are put in grade C or grade B. So we know he'll play a few T20s, so I think he'll be there. He's not named now. Was also an indication of how he was viewed in September. I don't think there were that many plans of bringing him back then. He forced his way back into the scheme of things with some good performances in the SMAT, leading Jharkhand to the title.
Just a couple of names that I was, that come to my mind right now as well. No Rajat Patidar with a central contract. He had one last year. No Sarfaraz Khan also.
So two players really.
Sarfaraz Khan is not on your new list, and yes, we didn't see him play Test cricket, but is that to say that we didn't miss him in Test cricket? Is that also to say that we've ignored what we've seen from him in domestic cricket, this doesn't look
Would
good to
seem
me.
so. It would seem so because again he was seen. There were talks about off the field issues as well.
Yeah.
Same with Shami. We know he spoke out against the selection, and that's why now potentially could be in that situation where he finds himself off the list. Very very interesting.
There's no Mukesh Kumar also, but
That kind of makes sense.
That is something that you saw coming. But the others, again, no real surprise as I can see right now. I'm just trying to find Washington Sundar's name.
He's there.
as
He's
well.
there. He's there.
Okay, he's there.
He's there in the Great Sea. So Washington is there. He's there.
Yeah.
I remember saying
That's the piece of news. But before we go, we will also tell you about the women's team as well.
Yeah, that's
because
important
the
to cover.
same press release also talks about the women cricketers also over there as well. Much the same like men's cricket. There is no A plus contract over there. There is a grade A, grade B, grade C. Also, before we get into the grades for the women's team, we must also tell you that at the moment there is no clarification from the BCCI now how much players will be paid. Remember until last year in fact, I should say, you had 7 crores be paid to the most elite category, which was the A plus category, and then there'd be a 2 crore decrease from that point. At the moment, you don't know whether it's 7 crore or 5 crore for grade A, B, C.
Or A,
yeah.
B, C now. We don't know. So we'll quickly go through the names, and I think it's a shorter list here because you can 21 players
21
as opposed
players,
to 30.
yeah.
But very interesting, there's more women in the grade A than there are men. So you've got 4 women cricketers. You've got Harmanpreet Kaur, you've got Smriti Mandhana, Jemima Rodriguez, and Deepti Sharma, who are the 4 who are on grade A. In grade B, you've got 5 players. You've got 4 players again. Yeah. Renuka Singh Thakur, Shefali Verma, Richa Ghosh, and Sneh Rana. And in grade C is where the rest of the players come in. You've got Radha Yadav, Amanjot Kaur, Pratika Rawal, Kranti Gaud, Uma Chetri, Arundhati Reddy, Sri Charni, Yastika Bhatia, Harleen Deol, Kashvi Gautam, G. Kamalini, Vaishnavi Sharma, and a Tejal Hasabnas. Now, Hasabnes, rather.
Hasabnes, yeah.
Yeah. The 2 names really stand out in terms of, I think, the new Tejal and I think a G. Kamalini.
Yeah.
I'm not sure these names featured in last year's list. By and large, though, the rest of the players are pretty much those who you've seen either feature or be on the fringes. Like an Uma Chetri is an obvious example.
Uma Chetri,
she's
someone who's... God. Again, these are names now we've seen in the WPL as well. No surprises over there. But just the one confirmation now awaited as to what the remuneration will be. But we've just gone through the multiple talking points of this latest press release. What a busy day it's been, Shane.
Indeed.
What a busy day.
What
a day where we were tracking so much of news. In comes this news, which also deserved to come to your notice. But I'll go back to saying what we had said at the start. None of this should surprise you if you've been watching Sports Today regularly, because this has been incoming for more than a few weeks now. And don't be surprised, as I said earlier as well, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma have not been hard done by. This is just how the BCCI contract doling out works.
Exactly.
Or the contract system works.
Yeah,
Ken and I will take your leave at this point. If you're joining us right now, go all the way back. We talked about a Shami missing. We talked about Ishan Kishan not being there. We also talked about a Ravi Bishnoi, by the way, was there last year and is in the list this year as well. So multiple players that we talked about, including Rohit, Virat, Shubman Gill, in the elite most category, despite not being in the T20 scheme of things. But remember, that happened only a few weeks back. So that same logic we had for a Jadeja, why he features in the top 3 or is one of the top 3 players in the A category, that same logic applies to Shubman Gill as well. Maybe out of the side right now, but remember, played all those matches for you once you disturbed that partnership between Jaiswal and Abhishek and a Sanju Samson. At this point, Shane and I are taking your leave, but plenty of other videos coming up and are already in fact uploaded on our channel.
Check those out.
Check those out. We'll see you tomorrow now. Bye-bye.
Bye.